Good morning. Jonah. I'm here represent for DJ Grace. Grand Rising, you know. Good morning. Each and every one. Now watch the morning voice. You don't know. DJ Grace live. Woman power. Teach and learn. So listen and learn. DJ Grace. It's the people. We always be people. See a man, we say them real to. Yeah, them deceive you. Use you, then say them no need you. We no flower, never weeble. Them sprinkle oil by a vehicle. When I rich, everybody want to meet you. When I poor, them mistreat you. Them want to beat you, delete you. That if you drunk or want to eat you, all your gal you have to pray to. And your brother in the street too, you need to. Because I'm cover up where we need to. Not just the wolf, run where all the sheep to. Who you least expect them one, you cover up na the sheet to. Them evil, I wonder if you see it too. DJ Grace. Them thing that I sleep. DJ Grace. Teach and learn. Woman power. Let's try the logo, you know? Yeah. Stand by, papi. Grace, tell my old violence to stop. When we can't keep a dance, them tear them all we shop. Kill we with tax, when I mess up, we forgot. When copper ball I grew up, I'ma play them on my part. Kill our friend them and them fools so we forgot. No sell out, turn in farm and them now produce no crap. Nowadays, all rata set a trap. The system corrupt, all the kappa. Get to youth and it's just a risk, you have to watch. Life short and at the time we sell a shop. Even though things slow like a phone full of app. Grace, life sweet, I could have called it so what's up. The wise man, build him house up on a rock. The foolish man, celebrate.
Grand Rising, everybody. How you all doing today? I hope everybody is doing fine. Welcome to Teach and Learn with your host, DJ Grace. Please to share and invite up, make some party watches and share into groups, invite up your Facebook friends. Grand Rising, Millicent, please to share. Thank you.
Everything because of crack. Me know you ugly love the flow up on the track. Grace, but it's the key link to the lyrics. Me a jaja Grace. Teach and learn, Grand Rising, woman power, is it? Strike the logo, no surrender, no retreat, is it? Yeah. Yo, DJ Grace, this is just a message, yeah. You know what I mean? To all the listeners out there, all the callers, it's not the same. It's not the same, the world change. That's it. We have to just keep focus. Teach and learn. DJ Grace. Can't lose.
Yes, bless up to Jonah. Hi, Jason, Grand Rising. How are you lot doing today? Alright, you know, if you wanna call in today and you have a topic you want to talk about, or you want to tell us what is going on in your country or anything like that, you can feel free to call in. Yes, I have a little thing on my chest that I need to put out as well. You know, as you see, it's time coming up for election in Jamaica. And you know, when it's election, when it's campaign time, you know how that campaign calls for gatherings, right? It's called for gathering, right? So as you know, they say that, you know, we're in a pandemic because of coronavirus, and we should be at social distance, okay? Also saying that you have to wear masks, because if you don't wear mask, you can be fined. But I've seen a lot of clips going around where people are gathering, all right, for the campaign for election. Nobody is saying anything about social distancing, wearing a mask, or even the gathering. I see a post since week as well saying that last week actually, saying if you are fined in a group where there's more than 30 persons, you can be fined up to £10,000. Okay, so that leave a lot of question for this election. What's happening? So it doesn't go for the election. Okay, then they're saying that school is not going to be opening not September but in January. Well, as you know that this is basically the time for back to school, but they say that this coronavirus out, so you won't think about back to school anyway. But I'm just saying, it's going to be January. Then I heard a little saying that the government of Jamaica said that they're going to be free vaccine for Jamaicans, as if vaccine wasn't free. All this time vaccine was free, innit? But I'm saying, I heard somebody send me a voice note. Grand Rising Tracy, Grand Rising Joan, somebody sent me a voice note, and that person know what he's saying, because listen to what he says. Number one key point, the government say that there will be free vaccine for Jamaican. Remember, they said over 300 person in Jamaica have it, which we don't have no proof of that. But compared to a lot of places where they say thousands and hundreds and thousands of corona, 300 is like, you get what I'm saying? So why vaccine? All right, one, it's gonna be free vaccine. Two, look at it, look at it. It's going to be the election campaign is in this time in the pandemic, even though they're saying social distancing, but yet still you can go out and gather. Then if you put 1 and 2 together, after the election, the next thing you're going to hear that, listen, in Jamaica right now, you have thousands of people having coronavirus. So listen, you got to take the vaccine. And I'm saying to myself, this voice note I get, I said, this brother know what he's saying. Because if you heard that out of somebody's mouth about free vaccine, right? And you hear them making a much about the social distancing and they're planning to do a second lockdown, then people not thinking to see that, okay, so they're gonna okay, it's all a trap. And they are pushing the election. Why pushing the election so much in this time? It's all a trap. And it is so sad that people don't wake up, and it seems as if they will never wake up. You understand? You ever saying that when you think it's peace and safety, it is sudden destruction. Blessing you now. I want to stop with all the gathering that what causing the virus with the gathering and bring by the rules. But the thing about it, you ever saying the rules are broken by those who set it. Because if you're going to be having Facebook not letting me share, oh gosh, I'm so getting tired of this forum right now, because it's so, I wish there was another way where I could go live. I may just try Instagram, try seeing what Instagram doing or I might just start doing try Instagram. Cause this thing, yeah, they compromising the page, and this is so frustrating. But I'm doing what I'm doing still. It's so frustrating. Yeah, they're doing all them crops, you know. I tell you, if I was on social, if I was on social media, chatting crap, rubbish, nonsense, you understand? Things that would lead people astray and distract people from consciousness, you would see that I wouldn't be getting any fight. You don't see them bloggers who chatting nonsense. You don't see Facebook fighting them people. Them views up and all them stuff. But when you about to doing what I'm doing, you know, they compromise your thing, and they fight you to the very most. Uttermost, you understand? But we got to do what we got to do still. You get what I'm saying? Yes, so it is what it is. But as long as you understand, you just go and work with DJ Grace, you know. When they kick you off, you just keep coming back on, because remember, that is how it is. That is how it is. Yeah, so I'm saying, you know, people just it is crazy. It is so crazy how much black people is sleeping. It is crazy enough that it's actually sickening, to be honest. And then now, when the shutdown, the shutdown the other day, quarantine, you know, a lot of people was coming out on social media, calling the program, saying they're hungry, they can't find food. I heard people complaining there's no water, there's no light. But still these people go jumping up and down, but they're jumping up and down for party, and for whatever party, to vote for the party. I just shake my head. It is actually so sickening, to be honest. Sorry. But I'm like, people need to wake up. Like, seriously. You understand me? People need to wake up. I see a video where this girl was naked. She had on no underwear. All she had on was a stocking. You understand what I'm saying? And she's jumping up and down and carrying on. And I'm like, this woman, what's wrong with this woman? In the middle of the road, don't you know that you're exposing yourself to even children? Come on. You're out there, you don't think that children out there are seeing what you're doing? And I'm saying, we lost our way so bad. To be honest. Lost. So, you know, don't be surprised of what is going to happen in Jamaica. Because you heard about social distancing. Yeah? You heard about getting charged for masks, and you heard all these things about second lockdown, and you hear about the election, and you are gathering up and acting up. You don't even have a clue what these people are setting you up for. I'm like, people are not waking up. People don't understand. People is just so caught up in the wrong things. People are so caught up in the wrong things, people. I'm telling you, it's crazy. No morals, man. I see another girl, she was partially naked. She had on some G-string type of thing, you know, bottom outer door, proper outer door, and a stocking. And then, you know, she had the shorts cut out away, and person painting dog in green and orange. To be honest, it is actually sickening. To be honest, when I see it, I just stroll through it so fast. I'm like, these people they lost their way. They lost their way. Get what I'm saying? You're busy, caught up in nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So don't surprise you hear that, oh, how much 1,000 people in Jamaica have coronavirus. You understand? And it may not be true, but just because of the gathering, you're going to hear that thousands of people have coronavirus. And guess what? You have to take the vaccine. You get what I'm saying? Well, you cause it up on yourself anyways. You cause it up on yourself. It's time for people to wake up and be wise, man, and see what's going on around you. I can say more, but, let me leave the rest. If you want to call in to say something about what I'm saying, you can, because I'm sure that I am not the only person. I'm sure that I'm not the only person I'm the only person who feel this way. You know what I'm saying? That we black people lost them long time. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. It is a serious situation. People, it's a serious situation. Wow. But let me play a little clip here. What Dr. Umar has to say.
There are no blessings in a pandemic. We know that. But if there was a silver lining in this cloud of disease, it would be, in my opinion, the fact that many black parents, for the first time, were forced to take control over their children's education. And in being forced to take control over their children's education, I believe many of them, and I've heard from a lot of them, they are now empowered to continue homeschooling their children. So although I do agree that there are a lot of children who have been getting no education, as Dr. Perry said, on the flip side, there's a lot of our children who have been getting a much better education as a result of being home. I know that I do a lot of one-on-one consultations with black parents, and I'm hearing the success stories. There's a lot of parents who are now questioning whether or not their children really have these so-called reading disabilities and these so-called math disabilities and these so-called mild intellectual disabilities. And so although for some it's a challenge, for others it has been a rebirth of the black parents' ability to educate their own children at home.
If I could jump in.
Bless you, Tan.
Yes, go ahead.
One of the most important experiences that this has produced is that black people have recognized what many of us who have been in the schools have been trying to say, that your children have been being played in a real way. The fact that only 18% of all children in America in kindergarten are black and 48% of all children who are suspended in kindergarten are black is an indication of the most racist system in America, which is the American public education system, which by design over-identifies children for what they would consider special needs, and by design suspends, expels, and disciplines children for being kids, and by design doesn't put children in positions to read, write, and compute on the same grade level, and finally, by design, is more comfortable with spending 3 times as much money to lock that child up than they could spend on to send them to a good school. There's a reason why children are still going to schools in the neighborhoods into which they are born. It is because by design, the system's purpose is to make sure that we only leave in cuffs or in a body bag.
Well, let me tell you something. That's so good, I'm going to take a break. Hang on to that. We'll be right back, everybody. The Book of Sean of Fox Soul. Dr. Johnson, let me ask you a question. And I'm gonna. We've been operating at 50,000 feet for a little while, but I want to start to drill down and do some specifics for a second. And here's my question to you, and I think you're uniquely suited to answer this question. What subjects don't we teach that we need to start teaching Black children in schools?
That's an excellent question. I want to go back to your previous comment for 5 seconds. You talked about whether it was a good idea to integrate in the first place. I want your listeners to understand that there were a lot of African American leaders and activists who did not support the 1954 United States Supreme Court school desegregation decision. Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois was one of them. Zora Neale Hurston, one of our greatest writers of the Harlem Renaissance, she was another. And we also want our community to understand that the schools did not desegregate to give African American children a better opportunity to learn. The reason the schools desegregated is because our children were learning better and outperforming white students in those dilapidated one-room schoolhouses in the South. Keep in mind, Dr. Sean, half of what America uses came out of the mind of a Black person. And it came out of the mind of a Black person before the schools desegregated. The stoplights, the gas mask, the baby carriage, the walkie-talkie. We can go on and on. The reason they desegregated is because they were afraid of the intellectual potential of Black children. And although we hear a lot of people talk about how intellectually delayed our children are, nothing could be further from the truth. When you study the intelligence of African babies, birth to age 5, African American babies from birth to age 5 outperform the children of every other race, including the Chinese, who we've been told are so intellectually inferior. So let us be clear. There was nothing wrong with those schools except that they didn't have the resources that they needed. Now your question, quickly. I'm going to give you 3 things that are not taught that need to be taught. Number 1 used to be taught and needs to be put back in the schools, and that is industrial education. Up until the 1970s, there was no you automatically go to college after you graduate. Don't get me wrong. I have 6 degrees. I love my collegiate experience. But we can all agree that in 21st century America, college is putting more Black families into debt long term than it is providing them with opportunities. Right. We are seeing children with master's degrees and doctorate degrees cannot find work. There are 2 million African Americans in this country with graduate degrees who
Wow.
So let us be clear. There was nothing wrong with those schools except that they didn't have the resources that they needed. Now your question, quickly. I'm going to give you 3 things that are not taught that need to be taught. Number 1 used to be taught and needs to be put back in the schools, and that is industrial education. Up until the 1970s, there was no you automatically go to college after you graduate. Don't get me wrong. I have 6 degrees. I love my collegiate experience. But we can all agree that in 21st century America, college is putting more Black families into debt long term than it is providing them with opportunities. Right. We are seeing children with master's degrees and doctorate degrees cannot find work. there are 2 million African Americans in this country with graduate degrees who are unemployed. So what needs to go back into the public schools, Dr. Sean? What happened to the electric program, the carpentry program, the HVAC program, the computer networking program? Most of our grandparents live comfortable, successful lives without collegiate degrees because they knew how to use their hands. Up until 1970, the high schools used to teach us the skills that pay the bills. And in 2020, the high schools are no longer teaching the skills that pay the bills. And that's why we're seeing this alarming growth rate in the mass incarceration of young black males, because the high schools no longer have the skills that pay the bills. And I'll leave it there.
No, I appreciate that tremendously. Tiffany, I saw when Dr. Johnson was talking, I saw you responding with the shaking of your head, and I want to give you an opportunity to jump in on that. Anything you want to add? Any subjects you can think of or want to add to what he was saying?
Sure. I think it's important to also realize that the schools, because of what we know around the systematic institutionalized racism, has definitely contributed to the ideas of teaching from a culture of poverty, meaning that they're teaching students believing that they have deficits and that they are not able to learn. So what we need to start doing is teaching with a growth, having children understand that they can learn with a growth mindset, that they don't need to be a dependent learner, and depending on what the teacher is telling them, they need to understand they can be independent and learn information and process it on their own. Furthermore, there has to be more information, more teaching strategies around culturally responsive teaching, diving deep into culture and understanding what that is and how it impacts students as learners for them to grow and process in the way they do, in the way they need to in order to get to the next level. I also wanted to give a quick quote because in regards to what Dr. Umar was saying, that intellect is the medium of exchange and power. Intellect is a medium of exchange and power. So we need to make sure that our kids are prepared to get to that next level, regardless of if. And what I also wanted to touch on was the fact that now we're working from an information-based society. So a lot of the industrial means of which students were learning from has decreased. So we need to ensure that kids are ready for ideas of like coding and decoding.
STEM is fundamentally important, and it has to be a part of our ongoing commitment to educating children. I think you're absolutely right. And Dr. Perry, if I may, just because I want to pick up on what Tiffany is inviting us to consider, and I think she was the first one who started us along this journey. Dr. Perry, when African Americans came out of enslavement, one of the first things we did was build schools. One of the first things we did, a lot of the HBCUs were built. 1867, 1869. You can go down the list. It was because our enslaved ancestors understood something about the power and the values, just what Tiffany said, of education, of what it could do, what it would mean, and how it would cultivate and sustain us. It seems as if, and I could be wrong, and you correct me, Dr. Perry, if I am, it seems as if that sensibility, that drive, as Booker T. Washington, I think, was the first to say, a whole race willing to educate itself, that drive has in some sense waned. And I'm wondering if you might be able to take me into why you think that's the case. So why is it, if it is the case, why did it happen?
I don't think education has gone out of style for black people. I think we've always thirsted for it. In fact, that's the reason why some people will wake their children up to put them on a bus, to send them to their cousins in them's house, to get on another bus to say that's the sound that they live in, so they go to a better school. It's the reason why people lie about their addresses. It's the reason why people apply to lotteries and or go to private schools. They're doing what they can do, at least in their minds, to do it. It's the reason why they hire advocates to help them out when their child has been identified as having special needs, and they think, I don't really know that he has any special needs. He just needs, his only special need is to have a black teacher in front of him. What we know is the issue may not be so much about what we teach as it is who's teaching it. There is, again, a systemic barrier that limits who can teach in the schools. When we look at the certification process, less than 33% of all African Americans who take what's called a praxis exam actually pass it. So you have 66% of the people who are African American can't take it. So who can't teach in America's public schools? I don't know, Barack Obama. Quite a few people who.
Let me cut this for a minute. Because I'm using all my phones to try to share the show. And Facebook wouldn't let me share the show. But guess what? You know, you can do just do party watch. Alright? You can do party watch. Even a group, you can just put the party watch in the group because they're not letting me share this show this morning at all. All my phones are not letting me share it. It is what it is. Please just make some party watch, alright?
They may be accomplished in their careers, but could not teach history in their local school systems.
Dr. Perry, hold on a second. I got to take a break. Hold that thought. When I come back, I promise, we're going to pick up right where you left off, all right? Booker Sean, Fox Soul, got to take a break. I know how I feel the same way. Trust me. Welcome back, everybody, and I'm not going to belabor the point. Dr. Perry, continue.
So in order to teach in a public school, you have to be what's called certified. The certification process does not prove to improve instruction. It's just a barrier to mostly Black and Latino people becoming instructors in the public school system, which again, from an employment perspective, denies us access to these really good, secure jobs that allow us to move up socioeconomically. But more important than that, from an economics perspective, we know that an African-American child who has had access to at least one Black teacher before he goes into third grade has at least a 30% chance higher of graduating and going to college. Ergo, if we know that increasing the number of interactions that African Americans have with Black teachers improves the probability of them not being suspended, not being expelled, not being overly identified as having special needs, not as if special needs in and of itself is inherently bad, it's the over-identification of it that's becomes a problem for us, then imagine what we could do. So that's step one. But just for the second, if you just bear with me for a second, just imagine if white folks met us earlier. Imagine they don't have issues with superiority of African Americans in sports and music because they've seen us in that context. But imagine if African Americans were in a space where we were more often seen for what it is what we often are. Go to a barbershop, go to a community center, go to a church, go to so many places where you will see Black people teaching their behinds off, but not allowed to teach in a public school. So we need to make sure that more people of color, Black people in particular, are allowed to enter into a teaching profession, which specifically should occur through apprenticeship programs, meaning that you have a degree, you should be able to come into the schools and work through an apprenticeship program to become a full-fledged teacher. You should not, which is what you ultimately have to do with student teaching in life. It's just that they have this test, this single test that stands in the way. And I'll finish here. I may lose as many as 80% of the African-American men teaching in one of my schools simply because of a test, one of whom had a 300% growth in math for my children. 300%. Young brother who graduated from Morehouse came back to teach in the hood, and I have to tell him, you can't teach anymore. Not because
because of one test.
That one test.
Wow.
Not results.
Wow.
One test.
Wow. You know, Dr. Johnson, the last time you were on the program, I think I said to you with consternation and a bit of shame that I had not had a Black teacher teach me until I got to college. Literally. I had not seen a Black person stand in front of a classroom and teach me anything until I had gotten to college. That's all of elementary school. That's all of high school. All of that. Be kind to me, sir, and tell me what you think about that. I'm fragile, Dr. Umar. Be kind.
Yes, sir. I want to go back and piggyback on what Dr. Perry said, all of which I agree with. Black people have to understand the nature and the purpose of standardized testing in America. It came to this country to serve as a means to deny opportunity to African Americans. Every test that has ever been used in America has served to control who could and who could not get the job. I don't care if it's the police test, the fireman's test, the intelligence test. Every test serves to keep people in and to keep people out. Now, here's the question. What percentage of the variance of standardized testing is predictive of how well you will do having scored high on that test. Law school, business school, grad school, mentally gifted, state standardized assessment, Dr. Sean, it's less than 1%. Less than 1% of the variance of the test score is predictive of how well you will do. So the question...
I tell you, he's touching some point there. Same way it go. Wow, what do you think we can do to make a change where that is concerned? Wow. It is very serious. It's a serious situation. But hello?
Are you hearing me?
Good
Are you hearing me?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, DJ Grace.
Blessings, blessings. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just calling in to let you guys know, just to give you telling parents that they have to be very careful with what's happening today in this time right now. A little incident happened to me the other day. My daughter, I sent my daughter to spend some time with one of my aunt, right? And she came back and she told me that my aunt's son gave her some money, right? Gave her some money and told her not to say anything to anybody.
Really?
And that's her cousin. And he's a big man.
And
Are you hearing me?
Right. And she came back and said it to you?
Yes, my daughter.
Right.
She came back and she said, Mommy, I'm not going to call his name on here.
No,
He
please
gave
don't.
me some money and he told me not to let anybody know about the money. And if she ever needs anything, she should ask him. So I am just calling in to let parents know that they have to be very, very careful.
Yes,
with
but
their
why would
kids and how these men are all predators. Because I can remember a story when I was growing up, Grace. Right?
Yes.
Are you following me?
Yes.
When
I'm
I was
listening.
growing up, I remembered when I was about 12 years old, I had this aunt in St. Elizabeth, right? And I went to spend holiday with my aunt, and when I got there, it was me and my little sister. As I said, I was 12 years old when we went down to St. Elizabeth.
Right.
And
Tell people.
my aunt has a husband there, right? Remember, I'm coming from my mind is young at the time, and I was on the bed lying down. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear because it's getting very interesting. I'm hearing you, darling. Go ahead. Yes, and you...
So I'm on the bed lying down. The first night I went there, I'm on the bed lying down.
You were
and
12
I could
years old.
feel somebody going back and forth, just looking at me. You understand? I'm still young. I had no idea what that means. So I'm still there. I didn't think anything of it. So I'm there for a few days. I remember, I think my aunt, she was in the living room, and her husband was in the back room, and I saw, oh my God, I can't even, what I saw was this man playing a blue movie.
What you're saying to me?
A blue movie.
While you were in the house, and you were in the same house, and you were 12 years old, so why would he be playing a porn movie and he has his wife at the house as well? So why would he be playing a porn?
And not also, but also knowing that she has her nieces visiting. So when I saw, I was shocked. I was so shocked that I stopped. And I looked at what's going on, and he said to me, you know what he said?
What did
I
he
have
say?
to rebuke these demons. I have to rebuke these demons. I have to pray for them. Can you believe that?
Hold on, slow down. Are you telling me that this man was watching
Yes.
porn and you went in there and see him watching porn and he said that he's rebuking the demons?
He said to me, he has to rebuke those demons. He doesn't know what this world is coming to. It's coming to an end. He has to pray for them. Not knowing.
Hold on there. So he was watching porn and he's saying that
Yes.
he's praying for them, for the demons to come out.
Listen, he kept saying, these are demons. Demons, you have to pray for them. You have to pray for these demons. While watching porn and knowing that I have a 12-year-old girl in the house. And he keeps saying, I have to rebuke them. I have to rebuke them in the name of Jesus. That's what he kept saying.
Well, on the sister, can you make me getting weak on the chair right now. So that man was a Christian.
I can listen, Grace, as God is my witness, this is exactly what happened, and this is what he said. He's a Christian. I don't even want to get into it, but he's a big Christian in the church. A pastor.
What?
He is a pastor. So this is what I'm trying to tell these people and these mothers, that they have to be very careful with their kids. You have to be very careful.
Oh wow.
A prominent pastor in St. Elizabeth. A prominent pastor in St. Elizabeth. Still alive.
I am speechless. That's what you're saying to me right now. I'm very speechless. But let me ask you, did you ever say it to your aunt? Did you ever let your aunt know what you saw?
So let me tell you a little bit more about the story. So for the time that I was there, you know what he kept doing? He kept offering money to me. He kept offering me a lot of stuff. He kept pulling out a lot of stuff and saying to me, the same thing that happened to my daughter. It's the same thing. And this is why everything come back up to me. Everything come back to me. Everything come back up to me now. And my eldest sister, I'm not going to call her name.
Right.
After that, you know, after all of this happened, I honestly didn't know what was happening. I was innocent to what was happening because I couldn't comprehend that a pastor would do something like that. And I honestly believed that he was telling me that he's rebuking these demons. I believed him. And for the time I was there, he was doing a lot of antics, going back and forth.
What an excuse.
My bedroom. My aunt.
No, I'm saying what an excuse he give to you. Says the reason why he's watching it, he's rebuking.
And I believe it. What I thought to myself was that these girls were doing something wrong. They're demons. I thought that they were demons, as he said. So I'm just letting people know that they have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, sure.
And
you were saying about your sister.
And you know what he used to do? He used to squeeze me $20. He used to squeeze me $50 in my hand and tell me not to let my auntie know. He said to me, "Don't let anybody know that I give you the money." That's what he told me.
Wow.
You know what he's doing right there? He's grooming me. So after that, you know, after that, to be honest, I'm going to tell you, one of the time when I was leaving, I said to my auntie that, you know, he gave me some money. You know what she did? She took the money from me. She didn't say anything. After I said, you know what? Only she asked me, did he give you any money? And I said, yes, he gave me such and such. And she took the money and then
Oh,
gave it
so
back to me.
so she knew,
knows something is going on.
she knew what. So that's what I'm talking. All on a minute, Carla. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about on the other show about these people who know what's going on with the children them and not doing anything about it for some reason I don't know.
Listen,
these mothers, these family members, whatever the case may be.
I'm not gonna say Jamaica, but these grown men, because at that time he was about 52 years old. He to tell you he was a full grown adult.
You were mentioning about your sister. What did you say about your sister? You was mentioning about your sister, like.
Okay, yes, I was gonna tell you about my sister and how I knew that something was wrong. So now when I went back home, my sister, she's way older than me. She was around probably 18 at the time, 18 at the time. And I went home and I was telling her that, you know what, Auntie, come away my money that this guy gave me. And she said to me, what? Who gave you money? And I started telling her that this guy gave me some money and told me not to tell her, not to tell anybody. And right now, Grace, I'm getting really emotional for what happened to my sister because this is 12 years old.
No, you're talking. Hold on a minute. You're talking. I know what you're saying because I'm talking right now and my eyes are feeling water as well. And I'm so getting emotional because this is crazy.
I'm sorry, but my sister.
But if you ask me, I think this pastor man need to be. If you ask me, this pastor man need to be exposed. This pastor man need to be exposed. If you ask me, because he's dangerous and his wife know what he's going on with, and she's compromising with him.
Me for such a long time. They need to do something about this guy. Something needs to be done. So. Okay, my sister, she sat me down and she said to me, listen, I'm going to tell you something but you cannot trust anybody. She told me that she was living with, this is why she had to come back home, because she was living with that auntie. She was living with him. My sister said she was living with them. And she was 9 at the time. And she said he used to offer her money. He used to give her a lot of stuff. And until he started he actually did the deeds to her. At 9 years old. Can you believe how evil these people are? The world that we're living in, a 9-year-old with a 52-year-old man.
I am totally lost for words at this moment. I am totally lost for words. So let me ask you.
Careful. And I said to her, okay.
Hold on a minute. Let me ask you a question. Is this person still operating the church?
Miss Grace, he's still operating the church until today, right in St. Elizabeth, that he's still there.
Nah, that's not right.
He's a predator.
That's not right at all.
My sister. And you know what is so funny? At 9 years old, when he was getting all the money and everything, apparently my aunt, they knew. I don't know how they found out about it. How they found out about it until to the day.
So have you?
They blame her.
So you want to tell me, say, oh, so they blame it, what they blaming the 9-year-old for? What did she do wrong? What did she do wrong?
What they're blaming my sister for, they said that my sister break up their marriage.
What are you saying to me?
This is what they're saying, that my sister break up the marriage. How can a 9-year-old go with a 52-year-old man? This is straight up molestation.
Yes, explain that to me. That doesn't make any sense. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. That doesn't make no sense. Until this day, my auntie hit my sister with a dose of
like a dose of poison.
No, this
She
don't.
they blame the poor, and you know what is so funny, Grace? Everybody in the family hit a sister. Everybody in the family blame my sister.
So your auntie know exactly who she with. She know exactly who her husband with, because if she's going to ask if you gotten money from money from him, that means she know exactly what
The incident happened. She knew it
She
happened
knew,
to my
she
sister.
knew,
So this
she
is
knew,
why
so she
she's
just-
more concerned about this guy,
Yeah.
her husband, giving us money, than concerned about, because the thing is, she's just as wrong, man.
She's
She's just as wrong for
Yeah.
for not getting this guy get this guy in prison. She's just as wrong for it, knowing what he's doing to little girls.
Yes. She need to.
It could happen to me, and the thing is, Grace, I am not sure who else it happened to apart from my sister.
It's a possibility that it has happened to many, because she knew. That's why she said to you about the money. If you have gotten the money, if it happened to your sister, that means it has happened to other girls. You understand? It's a possibility, and it is so wrong that she shunned him and all of this, and he's still in church preaching. Nah, that's not right.
He's still in the church, and she's still the wife of the pastor in church. Every single Sunday they dress up like they're children of God.
So this is what I'm talking about. These are the things them when me I talk about. I say the most I not using these people. I know what I'm saying. The most I not using these people are serving the devil. They are the devil's advocate. They are cynical of Satan. The most I not using them people. Them people are need for, I don't know, but that man need to be exposed though. Have you ever tell anybody about it though?
Listen, my whole family knows about the situation. Everybody in the family knows about the situation. It's not like I'm the only person. My sister let everybody know. And you know what is so funny? I would even say my sister let everybody know. My auntie, she is the one who keeps telling everybody in the family about the situation and making it. She's basically doing like, oh, you know that her sister went with my husband, whatever. But she's not even making it look, oh, when he was a child, this guy's a pedophile. How evil can you be?
No, that's not right at
How
all.
evil can you be?
That's not right. That's not right.
You see them every day dressing up, and this is just too much.
So how is your sister doing? How is your sister doing now? Because she must be, this thing must damage her a lot, right? How is she doing now?
Listen, and she's 9 years old. She's 9 years old. She just had a baby, and I'm telling you, she just had a baby a few months ago. And even she's always saying to me that this destroy a lot of her relationships.
It would.
It would. And she's telling me that I have a niece, and she said she's gonna do everything in her power to keep my niece safe.
Yes.
She's terrified of men. She's terrified of men. Listen, every minute my sister have a breakdown. Every minute she have a breakdown. You know how it feels when you know that nobody in your family trust you because they have this thing as a 9-year-old child and your auntie. Everybody in your family blames you and nobody prosecute this man.
No, that's not right at all.
You know how that feels?
That's not right. So so your sister never tried to.
Anyway, at 9 years old.
So have your sister tried to to see if she could get counseling, or has she ever reported it? Has she ever reported and anything like that?
Listen, I don't think. I'm gonna get something, Grace. I don't think my sister has ever reported it because you see, Jamaica is so slack. You can't go to the police and get any help or tell them that, oh, this guy did, because guess what? They have up these pastors on head tops. They think they cannot do anything wrong when they are the biggest predators. They are the
telling you.
biggest predators. You know, I don't know
I'm
how
telling
much
you.
children this guy probably had molested. And every day he's on the pulpit, praise God, and you know, my daughter coming home and tell me this now. It's like everything come back in my head. And this is why I don't
Yeah,
let her
just
go anywhere. I don't let my kids go anywhere.
right.
Because you
You have
cannot
to try.
trust nobody.
You have to try to protect your daughter with all with everything. You have to try to protect your daughter for real.
My sister, basically, Grace, my sister life mash up. My sister life mash up.
She
Every minute
can.
my sister breaking down. If she watch anything on TV, she said I could have been this, I could have done this if this guy didn't do what he did to her.
Yes, but there's a saying no one of them know that she will know. Once there's life, there's hope. I would love to talk to your sister. I would love to talk to your sister because I'm sure, you know, a lot of person have been through the same situation, you know, and see counseling, and you know, I believe that too can pass, even though
Okay.
there'll be a memory still lingers in the head, but you know, I think that too shall pass because I've spoken to a lot of female who have been through the same situation. It's a struggle, but she can get past that. You understand? I know
But you know, he was said to her that she should videotape him, call him, or he will go down to the church down by St. Elizabeth, call him, and or expose him. I keep telling her, but she keeps saying, oh, she don't, you know, the family's gonna hate her even more. How can they hate
No,
you? You know, I will say something to you, Grace.
she need to
It's
expose
not
him. I would have
even about
exposed him.
him. It's about how my auntie treated us, you know, treat the whole situation, knowing that her husband is a pedophile. She's still with him. She's still with him.
Oh, so why is she blaming the 9-year-old of mashing up her marriage? She's just as bad as her husband. If you ask me, she's just as bad as her
And
husband.
listen, Grace, I've heard that he has done it to many other girls. I've heard that he has done it to many other girls, and she knows about it and does nothing about it.
No, that's not right at all. What you're
You
saying
have to
is
be
not right.
careful what the people that you bring around, your kids are around your house. You cannot trust nobody.
No. I keep saying that you have to protect your your children. You have to protect your children. You know, things get so serious. You can't send them over to have sleepovers and them stuff, or send them certain place. You just gotta be protected of your child, because trust me, and you have to know who you leave your child with, and
That
then
man was
something.
trying after me so bad. He was trying after me.
Well, I'm glad that he didn't get through with his plan.
Listen, yes. And you know, and the funny thing is, that's not the last time I went back, because after I went back there after I get older, but at that time, because of what my sister said to me. And this is why I'm saying my mother is just a piece of shit just the same, because she knows what this, and she didn't do anything about it. You know why? Because my aunt always buying her stuff.
Oh boy.
My aunt, she has few businesses in St. Elizabeth, so she's always giving my mother stuff. So my mother loves sweets to know that this guy almost destroyed her kids. It's a topic that nobody touch in the family.
It's not only in the family. It's a topic that nobody really touch, because if you should do a survey to see how much woman has been molested, you're surprised to know how much woman. I'm sure many female on the line listening to you know have been through the same situation, but you know they're afraid to come and talk because they're afraid to lose their loved one or anything like that, so they keep it in, or afraid even to, you know, open up to anybody or anything like
I
that.
will be honest, I
And
think all these predators need to be exposed.
I sure.
All of these predators need to be exposed.
No pastor should be doing these things, man. That man need to be exposed, man. Really need to be exposed. You know much
And not
life
only
is ruined.
him, but his wife as well.
Boy,
Both of them.
this just saddened me this morning. Really saddened me because I'm just thinking how
This will let
much
anybody get sad.
children life has been destroyed. Someone said these people are deprived and wife knows and condone what her husband is doing, what's going on in the church. Most of these pastors need to go to jail. Rot in hell.
At one point, I was also hearing that she would go out and find the young girls to come and stay at their apartment,
Excuse me?
and
Sorry?
girls that are in need. Listen, they must have a plan. If you're going to get girls that are less fortunate and you know that this guy's a predator, leave them alone.
No, the story sound a bit twisted. She know what's going on then. She know what. All right. So tell me this. Even after what happened with your sister, they still taking girls to stay with
They're
them?
they're still taking children there.
All right then. Okay. Well, you know that they up to no good then. Well. That is some serious information there.
And you know
Yeah.
what is so funny, Grace? That aunt, she's Miss Holy. Every time you talk to her, she's telling you something about the Bible, and this is why she lived the way she lived, and she put you down. If you're not Christian, she's the most holiest person there is.
These are the things I'm
It's a
talking
sad
about.
story.
These are the things I'm talking about. I don't know. Something is radically wrong.
I don't know.
Who else thinks something is radically wrong with these Christians? Something is radically wrong. Proper.
Listen, they're demons. I don't know what to call these people. When a child get molested, this destroy them forever. It's something that they cannot. You take away their innocence.
Well, I would love to talk to your sister though. Yes, I'm gonna save your number. You could call me after the show. I would love to talk. I would love to talk to something need to be done about it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I do think so too. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have a talk with her and you'll get in touch with me.
Yes, after the show I will call you. I definitely need to talk to your sister proper. So
Okay, miss.
just be strong and, as I say, just protect your daughter. All right, protect your daughter.
I will. Okay.
You understand? Don't even send her to that auntie place or anything like that. Not at all. You understand?
Okay.
All right, and I hope and pray that you be around. I hope and pray that you be around until your daughter pass the worst. Blessings. Take care now.
Okay, I will. Okay. Bye. Thank you.
This is a serious situation, and this is sick, proper sick. This is sick. Can you believe it? Yes, I've heard these stories all the time. But the more you think about it, you see how crazy it is. It is totally sick. And from the wife knows, other people in the church knows, and they're going to be sitting down listening to this pastor preaching to them about God, telling them how to live right and what to do and what not to do, when he is a nasty man. He's living for the devil. So how can you come and tell people about God? You're right, you're God. You're right, you're God. This is so sick. Sick, totally sick. And something needs to be done about it. You know what I'm saying? The auntie know what's going on because she asked her if she had received any money from the husband. She know what her husband is doing. You get what I'm saying? So this is what I was talking about on the next live when I was talking about people who are, you know, wifing up these things and they know it's not right and you still carry on doing it. And you're telling people about God. My dear, make one of you come tell me about God. Seriously, we now live good. The Most High, A lot of these people say them are Christian, they're not living for the Most High. The Most High not talk to them. I'm telling you, they are the devil's advocate. The Most High not working through these people. I'm telling you. They are serving their God. The Most High has nothing to do with these people. It is so sick. So sick. I can't believe this.
Them say the earth is in the hands of the wicked. Stop, 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 na, 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 na. So you want to tell me, say, how wicked people are on earth? Stop, 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 na, na, na. But that don't mean so bad, my father. Excel block. Stop, 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 na, na, na. I walk in the footsteps of the Most High, and I am on the foundation. As the morning rise, I give thanks. Show love to the world from a distance. Some people accept it, some don't take it. Doing my part in a response. I can feel the pain in the street, hate in the breeze and the love light sees. Johnny Saint can't get no work, he my walk with the case. Now if he big gun, oh, can we live it?
That auntie has the audacity to say that a 9-year-old mash up her marriage. Hey. How can you say a 9-year-old mash up your marriage? Woman, you're just like the pastor, man. Hey. Crazy.
Them say the earth is in the hands of the wicked. Stop, 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 na, 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 na. So you want to tell me, say, how wicked people are on earth? Stop, 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 na, na, na. But that don't mean so bad, my father. Excel block. Stop, 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 na, na, na. I walk in the footsteps of the Most High, and I am on the foundation. As the morning rise, I give thanks. Show love to the world from a distance. Some people accept it, some don't take it.
What kind of world is this? These are the things that the leaders are doing. We will never ever have a better world. You understand? These are what the leaders are doing in the world. So that's why, you know, they're compromising my page, blocking people. Person be calling me, asking me, saying to me, DJ Grace, why you unfriend me? I'm like, why would I unfriend you? Come on, think. I'm promoting your music. Why would I unfriend you? Facebook does kicking people off my page. They're unfriending people. They're unfollowing people. Oh, this thing just sick to my stomach this morning. I'm sorry if I'm not delivering in a good way, but I'm so sick to my stomach, to be honest. Keep kicking off people because they don't want you to know these things, and they don't want you to listen to these things. And the few people who can make a change is like, it's crazy. They want to continue condoling nastiness and talking about God. The most I have nothing to do with what they're going on with at all. Not at all. Bare nastiness. See, they're compromising my page and kicking off all my fans. You understand? It's not even a good feeling, blood.
Doing my part in a response. I can feel the pain in the street, hate in the breeze and the love light sees. Johnny Saint can't get no work, he my walk with the case. Now if he big gun, oh, can we live in a world like this? Where no more love for practice. Search of places and the love is gone away. Oh yeah, can you help me in a time like this? Make we show respect and not peace again. Find the love, bring it back today. So much hate, no love, motivation. It's like everyone a follow back a Satan. The rich man dreams, give the poor people nightmare. I pray for the new generation. The big heads them they are debate. Tell me what the hell every day them on debate pan. To make more money fi fulfill them needs. The poor man a face the destruction. Oh, can we live in a world like this? Where no more love but practice. Search of places and the love is gone away. Oh yeah, can you help me in a time like this? Make we show respect and not peace again. Find the love, bring it back today. I know the system designed for the big man and them child. Poor people have to live it with a smile. The struggling, make you wanna cry, you wanna die. Please, don't ask me why. I know you're not blind, you can't see that. Babylon take with for idiot. Even the young baby, they may just born. They might ask me that. Oh, can we live in a world like this? Where no more love but practice. Searching places and the love is gone away.
You see, sometimes you watch some things, you know, you want to believe that these things that you see, you want to believe that they actually are a story people making up. But the more, you know, the more research I do and the deeper I go, I realize what's going on. You understand? These pastors, they are the devil. You see, they're talking about have to get with a virgin. You see that clip I come here and play where they have to sleep with the mermaid, and they have to and I play the clip where they have to renew their vow with a virgin. That's why you see this thing going on. Put 1 and 2 together. They're the devil, blood. I don't care. They're the devil. You understand? So this thing will never stop, because these pastors have to keep on doing what they're doing. They have to keep on getting them virgins and all them stuff to get what them doing to renew their powers. It's all about that. You understand? That they got to get the virgins. I've heard of it. I watched video. I remember years ago I was having a reason with this pastor man. Yeah, and he wasn't we had a reason because his wife come to me and said to me that, because I was going to the church, I think, at the time, and she said, you know, he's not touching me or anything like that. And I said, really? She said, don't make nobody know you tell me about me. I go to him and I said, listen, you know, I hold a conversation with him, so he opened up to me, and I was like to him, why don't you touch your wife? Why don't you sleep with your wife? He's going to tell me that, no, I can't sleep with my wife because, oh, she's too tight, I can't bother with that. Like, seriously, what an excuse. Which man would want to sleep with them wife because them wife too tight? Like, seriously? That don't make no sense to me. These people are sick. Seriously, these people are sick. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. As this song says, we're living in a world like this. Pure evil. It's just pure evil. These people telling you about God, they're not serving the Most High, man. I'm telling you, they're not serving the Most High. That's why you need to wake up. You need to wake up, people. You need to wake up, seriously, and find yourself. You understand? Pray to the Most High to lead you in all truth. So when they come with their ism, schism, you can see clearly where they're coming from. You understand? These people are evil, man. Seriously.
Them say the earth is in the hands of the wicked. Stop, na, na, na. So you want to tell me, say, wicked people are on earth? Stop, na, na, na. But that don't mean so we have to follow. Excel,
we don't have to follow them.
Walking in the footsteps of the Most High. That's how you make the foundation.
Right.
As the morning rise, I give thanks. Show love to the world from a distance. Some people accept it, some don't take it. Doing my part, me no response. I can feel the pain in the street. Hating the breeze and the love light sees. Johnny Saint can't get no work. He my walk with the case. Now left the big gun. Oh, can we live in a world like this? Where no more love for practice. Search your places and the love is gone away. Oh, yeah, can you help me in a time like this? Make we sure respect and not fears again. Find the love, bring it back today. Sure, so much yet no love motivation. It's like everyone a follow back a Satan. The rich man dreams, give the poor people nightmare. I pray for the new generation. The big heads, them they are debate. Tell me what every day them on debate pan. To make more money fi fulfill them needs. The poor man a face the destruction. Oh, can we live in a world like this? Where no more love but practice. Search your places and the love is gone away. Oh yeah, can you help me in a time like this? Make we sure respect and not fears again. Find the love, bring it back today. I know the system designed for the big man and them child.
Right, and the system shield these type of persons, you know, the system shield these persons. So when you're gonna say report certain things, and the system shield these type of people. So anywhere you take it is like it's just pure evil. It's just pure evil, people. So it's your responsibility to try to protect your kids. I at all cause. I don't know what a man will tell me if a man try to put a pause on my 9-year-old. I imagine he having an intercourse with my 9-year-old. I can't tell you. I can't imagine what I will do. Like, seriously. Come on. What is on a 9-year-old that is gonna attract a man though? Come on. What's there gonna attract you? Seriously. It's pure evil, man. It's just pure evil. Nasty.
Poor people have to live it with a smile. They're struggling, make you wanna cry, you wanna die. Please, don't ask me why. I know you're not blind, you can't see that. Babylon take me for idiot. Even the young baby, they may just born. They might ask me that. Oh, can we live in a world like this? With no more love for practice. Searching places and the love is gone away. Oh, God, can you help me in a time like this? Make we sure respect and not fears again. Find the love, bring it back today. Yeah. Stop, na 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 na. Yeah. Stop, na 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 na. Stop, na 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 na. Yeah. Stop, na 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 na. As the morning rise, I give thanks. Show love to the world from a distance. Some people accept it, some don't take it. Doing my part in a response. I can feel the pain in the street, hate in the breeze and the love light sees. Johnny Sim can't get no work, he my walk with the kids. Now let the big gun. Oh, can we live in a world like this? With no more love or practice. Search for places and the love is gone away.
Let me change this topic for a minute because I'm totally not feeling well from that. Young miss spoke to me. Totally not feeling well at all. You know get what I'm saying? So I have another clip here I wanna play, but we have to stop wife up these things. We have to put a stop to this. Ladies, mothers, females, you have any least idea that a child is being molested? You don't keep that. You don't keep that to yourself. You understand me? A lot of you know that the children them are being molested and you keep it to yourself because, oh, I don't want to lose the man because he's the breadwinner of the house. Sorry? So if the man dead, what you gonna do? Tell yourself I'm dead, because if him dead you have to fight your way through anyways. You get what I'm saying? We need to stop these things because you are contributing to destroy these children. When they are going to run, when things are happening to them and you turn up, you're not. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these parents are to be blamed of what happened to the children them. You understand? A lot of parents know what's going on and covering it up. Right, let me play this clip.
That ass up early in the morning. The breakfast.
5.
What are they?
Mass incarceration, miseducation, gentrification, access to wealth, and police genocide. They're all equally relevant. Mass incarceration, miseducation, gentrification, police genocide, and access to wealth. My question for Senator Booker, as it would have been for Senator Harris, but of course she dropped out now, okay? What plan do you have? Not promise. Black America has to get out of this thing. We want promises. I don't want no damn promises. I want to see a plan of action. What plan do you have to deal with miseducation? What plan do you have to deal with mass incarceration? What plan do you have to deal with the ethnic cleansing of black people out of our own residential neighborhoods? What plan do you have to deal with police assassinations of defenseless, unarmed black folks? And what plan do you have to help us access the wealth of America's banks? If he ain't got a plan for any one of those 5, I can't vote for you. And guess what? 99% of black politicians don't have a plan for any of those 5, because those 5 things, Charlemagne and Envy, are the backbone of white supremacy. It's the backbone of political and economic disenfranchisement of black folks. If you deal with any one of those 5, you are weakening the fiber of white supremacy's or white racism's control of domination over black existence.
I was going to ask you who's one of your top choices out of the presidential candidates.
Nobody. Bernie Sanders doesn't have a solution for black people.
He's not voting. He's not voting.
Unless someone arises talking something that I think is relevant for us.
What did you think of Kamala Harris?
I don't vote for black people who are not married to black people. I think we know that.
Right.
Okay. So she wasn't going to get my vote anyway.
What if she had all the plans for black people that we talk about, but was still married to a white person?
She could not have, because you can't mix oil and water. So if a black woman is committing her life to a white male, understanding what the white male population has done to black people in this country, that right there tells me how serious you are about us. For example, the other day, y'all had a terrific interview with our brother Byron Allen.
Yes, sir.
But I'm upset with both of you because you did not ask the question that needed to be asked. Byron Allen spoke eloquently about the black economic situation and our need to keep our wealth in our community and our need to concentrate that wealth for our own benefit. So if you know that much about black economic power, how could you make the mistake of not investing your wealth into a black woman? 1 + 1 = 2. You can't come up here talking about black economic power and our need to protect the 1866 Civil Rights Law when you yourself didn't think enough of us to contribute your money and your capital and your wealth and your estate by marrying a black woman.
You penis.
You cannot live white.
Yeah. So what do you think that was? What do you think that is? That the fact that he's quote unquote trying to help our community, but you see him married to a white woman?
It would be my question for Byron Allen.
Go ahead.
This whole message of black people needing to protect the 1866 Civil Rights Bill, is that for us?
Or him?
Or is it for you? In other words, is this another Barack Obama tactic where you get black people all in their emotions and they follow you out and do whatever you want, and then at the end of the day you benefit and we don't? Because that's what Obama did. We got nothing out of that at all. Latinos benefited, homosexuals benefited, women benefited, immigrants benefited. Black folks who built this country did not benefit from Obama at all. Not a single law, just for us. You understand? So if I were talking to Byron Allen, this is what I would say. I respect him, first of all, you understand. He's still my brother, even though there's political disagreements.
Correct.
But I would say, listen, your wife is white. So we're going to stop the black talk right there. Here's what I want to know. How many people on your board of directors for your corporation are African people, black folks? I also want to know, how many of your employees are black? I also want to know, to how many black companies do you subcontract for services and other things that you need to run your corporation? In other words, I want to see how much of this contract that you may very well get with Comcast and Charter, you understand, is going to reciprocate back to the black community. Because if I see you got an all-white board or mostly white employees, then I know this is not really about black folks. Also, with a contract worth that much money, there's going to be a lot of not-for-profit kickbacks, a lot of tax write-offs. How many black community organizations are you going to be writing off, you understand, by giving them contributions from that available pool of funds that you have? How are we going to benefit? Because your white wife, she's going to get everything you bring home. That contract, she's going to benefit from it more than any black woman in America. So you got to give me something so I know you serious. Now, even if he didn't know, Envy, even if he couldn't answer my questions in a way that I thought was acceptable, Charlamagne, I'm still going to ride with him. You want to know why? Because that civil rights bill is critical for us. And one thing I don't do is throw out the baby with the bathwater, you see. So even if he can't answer my questions well, I got to ride with him because them dismantling that bill can affect a lot of other black people coming down the pipe.
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Umar. You rock with Frederick Douglass heavy.
Blood relative.
That's your blood relative.
Blood relative.
He had a white wife.
His second wife was white.
Okay.
Okay? And he must be held accountable for that, by the way. Okay? No problem. But his first wife, Anna Murray Douglass, through whom all 5 of his children were born, was a blue, black, purple African woman. I don't have a problem with people bringing up the fact that Frederick Douglass had a white wife. He shouldn't have done it. But put it in context. Put it in context. Put it in context.
Yes,
he was old, of age. His wife of 50 years who helped him escape from slavery to freedom. The woman who sewn the outfit that he used to escape from slavery to freedom. The woman who created the false slave paper that allowed him to travel. That black woman, with whose help he would have never, without whose help he would have never been free. She died after 50 years. He went into a depression. As an old man, he couldn't trust nobody. Rumor has it that Anna Murray Douglas told the white woman, Helen Pitts, to take care of Frederick after she dies. It's still not acceptable. But don't ignore the fact that he spent 50 years with a blue, black, purple, nappy-headed, beautiful African woman. We give the white woman all the attention, and most people never even knew Anna Murray Douglas existed. And if Frederick Douglass was alive, I think he would admit, too, that that was one thing he wished he would have undone, because if Frederick Douglass had never married that white woman, he would undisputably be, and I would argue still is, the greatest black leader that ever walked this country.
So are you against interracial relationships? Period.
Absolutely. She must be African, which automatically brings up a question about our Latino brothers and sisters, because we know that Cuba, and my paternal great-grandfather was Cuban, okay? We know that many of our Latino brothers and sisters coming from Cuba and Puerto Rico and other Spanish-speaking islands, most of them are...
All right, what do you think about what he's saying? Somebody showing thumb up. Somebody say, we are all one. We came from the same seed, no matter what color you are. Okay, put some comments.
African too, biologically. But I do not include you unless you are African psychologically. In other words, I got Puerto Rican friends who are straight red, black, and green as I am. Remember now, Cuba was the most thoroughly organized Marcus Garvey Island in the Caribbean. There were more chapters of the red, black, and green in Cuba than any other island in the Caribbean and most countries in the world. In Puerto Rico, strong Garvey Island, if you would. So for me, I don't discriminate whether you're a Spanish-speaking African, whether you're an English-speaking African, whether you're a blue, black, purple, nappy-headed African, whether you light-skinned African, we all one family. But for me, it's a two-question, it's a two-pronged test, Envy. Are you biologically African and are you psychologically African? Because I'll reject anybody. I don't care if you Clarence Thomas. He blue, black, purple, but that Negro gets rejected because he's done nothing for black folks since he's been on that Supreme Court bench.
Now, what about the school that I know last time you came here, you were
Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Let's talk about the academy.
FDMG. Well, through the grace of God, earlier this year, February the 7th, 7 days before Frederick Douglass's birthday, we purchased not one school but two. Wilmington, Delaware, we have a campus 4 buildings strong. It used to be a charter school. They lost their charter. Luckily, we was able to purchase it. So now we're raising money.
Congratulations.
Thank you. To restore the school. And what I like most about it is in a predominantly black community. What I also like about it is we have all the square footage that we need. We have 2 buildings. The Frederick Douglass building, that's the high school. Modern gym, modern schools. These are not old schools. These are modern. Marcus Garvey building is right across the street. They face each other. So because we have 2 school buildings instead of 1, there's a very strong chance that we may start educating our girls in the Anna Douglas Amy Garvey Academy at the same time that we educate our boys, because we have the 2 schools. But even if we don't start the girls at the same time we start the boys, we will be evolving to the Girls Academy as well. That was always a part of my plan. I just didn't think we would be so blessed as to end up with 2 different schools. So everyone listening, make sure you donate. Go to my website, drumarjohnson.com. Go to your Cash App and donate. $FDMG School. I repeat, $FDMG School on the Cash App. We need $1 million to restore the whole campus.
I'm glad that happened, because I remember people was giving you so much flack. It was like, Dr. Umar collected all this money. The school never manifested, so I'm glad that you...
Well, the interesting thing about that is $750,000, and y'all know this, is not a lot of money for a commercial property. $750,000 to purchase a school.
Yeah.
For a school.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Some of the lowest prices we saw was like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, the low end. You understand? But I just stayed after them and said, listen, y'all not doing nothing with the school. Work with me with what we got. You understand? And that's how we was finally blessed to get it, because we couldn't even afford that one as well. So we was blessed, but we own it outright. It is ours. So what I want to do is focus on the Garvey School, the small school, get that one up and ready, and then we're going to begin the education. And what are we teaching? Economic science. Because most schools are all about what? Sending our kids to college. I'm not against college, because without it, there's no doctors, there's no engineers, there's no teachers, there's no psychologists. So you got to send some of our children to college. But does everybody got to go? Of course not. Everybody don't need to be going to college. One of the messages I would have if I was speaking to LeBron James or Oprah Winfrey, 2 people who give a lot of money to educate black children. Why y'all keep giving white colleges all y'all money to educate us? That's not benefiting us. All you doing is making white colleges richer. Instead of paying $100,000 for my daughter to go to college, how about giving her a $100,000 business grant? And then put a team together, Charlemagne, who will coach those young people, help them with their budget, help them with their marketing plan, help them with their operation plan, help them with their business plan. That's what you should be doing, giving our young people businesses that they control, not giving a white university $100,000. That's not benefiting our people. I know LeBron means well. I know Oprah means well, but you're not helping us. You're only helping the universities by doing that. Start giving us business grants instead of paying for college education.
Well, LeBron opened up his own school, though.
LeBron James does not have his own school.
In Akron?
That is an Akron public school. Private citizens.
I like that bit. I like that bit about, you know, stop giving all them money to colleges and give it to us. Make we do business. That sound like real talk right there. Okay, give me a minute, yeah.
Citizens do not own public schools. LeBron James put up, I believe, 25% of the money for the school. The other 75% is paid for by the taxpayers. It's not a charter school either. It's a public school. And that's no knock on LeBron because I like what he's doing. LeBron says he will pay for the college education of every parent and every child that attends that school. That's beautiful. Me and my mother going to go to college for free? That's beautiful. You understand? But I would ask him, like I would ask Jalen Rose, like I would ask Sean Puffy Combs, why are black millionaires opening up charter schools?
Explain.
Does a black millionaire need a welfare check from the government? If you're worth $1 million, do you need federal housing? Do you need food stamps? Do you need WIC?
No.
Do you need, you understand me? A charter school is a public school, Charlemagne. You don't own them. Those are public property. You don't own those. Which is why my school, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, our school is independent. We call those shots. When you're a charter school, and I can speak to this because I'm a former charter school principal and a former charter school vice principal and a former charter school certified school psychologist. So I know everything about charter schools, and in Philadelphia, we have more of them than any other city in America. You don't own them. In other words, if Envy and Charlemagne opens up a charter school in New York for mass communications, right? Y'all get a brand new building built from the ground. The state of New York could come in any day they feel like it and say, guess what? Your test score is too low. We're giving you 2 years to get them up. 2 years go by, Envy. Test score is still low because the kids you're coming to you are coming from feeder schools where they didn't get a good education. After 2 years, even though you know you're doing a good job, they will take your charter and shut you down. How do you think I got the school we just bought? They renovated that school from the ground up. But guess what? The state of Delaware took their charter because they said the test scores were too low and that they were financially mismanaging money. And those are the two biggest excuses they use to shut down black charters. Financial mismanagement and low test scores. I will never give the white power structure that much control over the destiny of educating our children. Now, in their defense, they're not educators. Jalen may have never heard that conversation. LeBron may have never had that conversation. Puff may have never had that conversation. But with the type of money these men have access to, I would really wish they would open up independent schools. Because if Puffy got an independent school, guess what? When he's dead and going to become an ancestor, that school continues to thrive. You understand me? It goes to his kids. And then it goes to his grandkids all the way down. It will never disappear. But when it's charter, the state decides when you live or die.
I didn't know that.
And what about HBCUs? What is
we
your
need to
feeling on
support
HBCUs?
our historically black colleges and universities. The problem with the HBCUs, they're being gentrified just like our neighborhoods. Just like they're moving black people out the ghettos, they're moving black professors and black students out of the HBCUs. Bluefield State in West Virginia. I visited it when I spoke in West Virginia a few years ago. Did you know that that was an HBCU? It is now a PWI. A historically black college is now a PWI. And guess who is also at risk of becoming a PWI? Howard University. The amount of African-American students at Howard slowly now, this ain't going to be overnight, but slowly is beginning to decline, and the amount of non-African-American students at Howard University is beginning to increase. I believe the United States government has its sights on Howard University, and if we do not protect it sooner or later, that will be a PWI. But there's so many more. It's not just those. There's others. And even the ones that are not going to become PWIs, they're being threatened with being shut down.
And to me, that's unjustifiable because of the amount of black young millionaires that we have. Look at all the rappers and athletes and entertainers and models and singers that we have. Why can't we divide up the HBCUs amongst our millionaires? Divide them up. Y'all three, take Hampton, which I believe is your alma mater.
Yes, sir.
Y'all three, take Morgan. Y'all three, take Morehouse. Y'all three, take South Carolina State. We can do this if we do it together. But the problem is, the average black millionaire has the same value system and interests as middle-class white America. They don't have a heart to give back to the community because they are 1 or 2 generations away from the civil rights movement, which was the last time black people looked out for each other in a significant way.
Well, for the record, a month and a half ago, I gave $250,000 to South Carolina State.
Powerful,
and
bro.
we just raised $800,000 for the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. To give the HBCU.
I commend y'all for that. Bill and Camille Cosby gave the single largest donation to an HBCU in American history. I believe it was Spelman, in the amount of $20 million. And of course, when the Bill Cosby scandal popped, they returned the unused money. Had I been Camille Cosby, I would have said, if y'all going to renounce my husband, don't return the unused money, return the entire $20 million back. Speaking of Bill, if I could, I take issue with the conviction. He just did an interview for the first time a couple days ago from prison. Legally blind, by the way, sitting in a prison right south Philadelphia. I know some folks who in there with him. He need help to go to the bathroom, help to get dressed, help to eat. Legally blind, but he's strong. I think he's going to beat this because he wants to tell his story. When the Bill Cosby conviction was handed down, I had questions. And of course, the surviving R. Kelly came out right after Cosby's conviction, January of this year.
Right.
2 prominent, successful black males accused and convicted of sexual abuse, violence, what have you. I urged caution for black America. Not because I thought R. Kelly was innocent, because I don't. I do believe Bill Cosby is innocent. Nobody's showing up at somebody's house 8:45 at night, and y'all done been together multiple times. Y'all done met at casinos multiple times. Y'all done done this little kissing and petting multiple times. Case was thrown out in 2005, the first time the DA said it ain't enough evidence here to prosecute. 10 years later, they finally decided to hear the case because more women came out and said he abused them. The first trial ends in a hung jury. Then they retry him again on the thinnest of evidence, and he gets convicted. I want y'all to know the real reason Bill Cosby is arrested is doing time is not just because he wanted to buy a major network. There's another part y'all need to understand. Bill and Camille Cosby purchased a property in Massachusetts in 1971. That property sits on top what is believed to be an untapped source of oil. There is a very large company whose name I'm not going to mention on your show. They're one of the largest energy companies in the world and one of the top energy companies in America. They deal in gas, they deal in petroleum, they deal in oil. They've been begging Bill and Camille Cosby to let them explore and dig under the driveway to their Massachusetts house, and they've been at this for a long time. They intensified their demands around 2014, 2015. They even went to the federal government, and they're now trying to get the federal government to force the Cosbys to let them dig up under their house. The Cosbys are not alone. There's about 400 homeowners up there in Massachusetts who don't want no oil digging and drilling and anything else they want to do up there. I got a significant reason to believe, and the word is out on the street back home in Philadelphia, that part of this conviction had to do with trying to bankrupt Bill Cosby to force them to sell the Massachusetts house so the oil company could have its way. See, I don't have a problem with the fact that Miss Constant waited a year before she told the police. I'm a therapist. I'm in mental health. I'm a doctor of psychology. I know trauma and how it affects people. Your behavior afterwards is not always logical. What makes the Cosby conviction different from any other rape case is one glaring fact. She's white. He's black. The white woman in America is the most privileged human being in this society. The black man in America is the most discredited, maligned individual in this society. We are considered guilty, and then we have to prove our innocence. Not only that, black men have a history of being falsely accused to be sexually uncontrollable with a lust for raping white women. How many black men been lynched for that, although they were innocent? So you mean to tell me that this white woman, who was not no poor, broke white woman, she was over Temple University basketball operations. You were sexually abused by the most famous black man in American television history, and you say nothing for a year.
You go back, you continue to communicate with this man, so forth and so on. You're not going to convince me that a white woman is going to wait to tell on DJ Envy if you assaulted her. You can't convince me that a white woman is going to wait to tell on Charlemagne or Dr. Umar if we assaulted them. We have the entire might of the criminal justice system already organized against us.
But you said trauma, people react to trauma
It does, but she's a privileged white woman. You do not wait to tell on a black man. That is nonsense.
So trauma doesn't affect the white people the same as
Trauma
black
does, but her political position dictates that you go and tell your white male what the black male did to you, and she did not do that. I'm going to go a step further. Meek Mill, shout out to Meek, North Philly. Should have never been in prison. He's still going through that situation, I believe. Hopefully he will win that. He will win that.
No, he did.
It's over.
It's over.
Thank God he's freed on that. He's doing some criminal justice reform work. So I want to clear that before I make this point. But why was Meek Mill released from prison on April 24th, 2018?
Tell us.
Because the Pennsylvania criminal justice system knew that they was going to lynch Bill Cosby on April 26, 2018. Meek Mill had to be released from prison before Cosby was convicted. Why? You cannot have the two most prominent black North Philadelphia entertainers in prison at the same time. Why, Envy? Because that would have shined a light on the Pennsylvania criminal justice system, one of the most notorious in America. 1 out of every 28 Pennsylvanians is under some form of supervision by the criminal justice system.
That's the fact.
You understand?
Yeah.
Not only that, Pennsylvania's 16 state prisons, I believe it is, are all mostly maxed to capacity. Pennsylvania jails are so crowded that they're putting prisoners in the county jails because they ain't got the space in the state prisons. And it gets worse than that. Pennsylvania leads the nation for the highest life without parole sentencing for black people. And guess who is the #1 county in the country? Philadelphia. Philadelphia's life without parole sentencing for black people is #1 in the country. And guess what? For most of those life without parolees, guess what? When they first contact the system of incarceration, Envy, they less than 25 years old. They are stealing life from babies. So the reason they had to let Meek out on the 24th before they lynched Cosby on the 26th is because if they were in jail at the same time, the whole attention of America would have been on the Pennsylvania criminal injustice system, and they couldn't allow that to happen. They had to free Mill in order to kill Bill.
So what about, that's what Meek's trying to do now. Meek, Michael Rubin, Jay-Z, like they're trying to change legislation in Philadelphia.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. But we can change it even quicker, and I support them. And shout out to Jay-Z. Because when Jay-Z decided to make that deal with the NFL, I got a phone call from half the black radio stations in America. Jay-Z is a sellout. I said, time out. Don't come to me with that. What do you mean, Doc? He working with the NFL. I said, back off. I said, let me explain something to you. When you invest in black people, I give you some political credit. I'm going to give you some room to do some things that might look suspicious on the surface, but you've earned enough trust from me, Envy, where I'm going to let you move a little bit before I judge your actions. See, when Jay-Z stepped up during the protests in Baltimore, Maryland, and when Jay-Z stepped up during the protests down in St. Louis and paid for a lot of those protesters to get out of prison, so forth and so on, when Jay-Z paid to get that Khalif Browder documentary produced, and when Jay-Z turned down the Super Bowl halftime show a couple years ago, I said, okay, that brother right there, he got some love for his people.
And the Trayvon Martin documentary.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I spoke with Trayvon Martin's father on the phone. Shout out to Jay on that. So Jay has shown me that he give a damn. When Beyonce got up on that Super Bowl halftime show, 2016, and paid tribute to the Black Panther Party on their 50-year anniversary, Beyonce showed me right there on the biggest stage in the world. She said, I'm going to show respect for what my ancestors have done for me. I ain't forgot about Assata Shakur. I ain't forgot about Fred Hampton. I ain't forgot about Mark Clark. I ain't forgot about Geronimo Pratt. So as far as I'm concerned, can't nobody come to me about Jay-Z and Beyonce, because did they do everything? No. But they did enough to let me know I care. And because of that, I'm going to give that brother some wiggle room before I judge him. How we know he not trying to get an NFL team to give Kaepernick his job back?
The NFL is a multinational corporation, Envy. You know how many young black people he can give jobs to? Do you know how many ex-offenders he can give jobs to? Do you know how many black businesses he can give contracts to if he becomes the owner? And I don't know if he's trying to or not. I'm simply stating that I trust him enough and respect him enough that I'm going to give him an opportunity to make some moves before I judge my brother. Sometimes we are too quick to castigate the rich before giving them an opportunity to show what they really are about. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A lot of people don't know this. But you know Dr. King never believed in nonviolence? I'm getting facts.
I've heard things.
You know who they
He
brought?
had the invaders with him, the black invaders.
Yeah, but there was a black man by the name of Bayard Rustin from Chester, PA. They brought Bayard Rustin down to Montgomery, Alabama to convince Dr. King that you're going to have to do nonviolence down here because black people will get massacred. Dr. King said, we need to stand up and fight. He said, you cannot do that. They convinced Dr. King to push the nonviolent rhetoric. But guess what you don't know? The Southern Christian Leadership Conference had a stockade of weapons that they thought they may sooner or later have to use, Envy, once the nonviolent tactic broke down.
And
But
people around King were with the shits anyway. Stokely Carmichael was always with the shits.
well, remember, Stokely and King disagreed politically
Yeah.
on some things, although they
Especially
did
the
work
nonviolent
together.
factor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But my point is, publicly he said one thing. Privately he believed another. When people are in front of the cameras on a regular basis, you should not be expecting them to do what Dr. Umar Johnson do. That's my job to do this. My job is to go hard because I'm the front man. I'm not the politician. I'm not the diplomat. That's y'all. I'm coming hard. But guess what? For Jay, he gonna move a little different. Dr. King, he ain't gonna come like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. He's gonna move a little different. So we need to be a little slow to judge people. I'll give you another one. Tyler Perry. Shout out to him. He just built the $400 million Tyler Perry Studios, larger than most of the white major studios, right? People say, so what is he doing this for? To make more Medeas, more this, more that? I'm not a fan of Medea. You understand? But guess what? If he has to do Medea to raise the necessary capital so he can give us a movie on Marcus Garvey, let him do Medea. If he has to do that to raise enough capital so he can give us a movie on the Mau Mau Revolution, so he can give us a movie on Bishop Turner or Martin Delaney, so he can give us a movie showing how a black man finally leaves his white woman and goes back to the black woman. If he can give us a movie showing us how black people finally get organized, you understand, and take out political, economic power. My point is,
If he just built a studio, that's how
exactly.
black people.
That's
Yeah.
my point. Give that man some room to maneuver and judge him later. Because guess what? I don't want Tyler Perry on the front line. And I don't want Jay-Z on the front line. You know why? Because they are the financiers. Financiers don't go on the front line. We can't afford to lose them because if we lose them, who's going to replace them? You understand me? They don't go on the front line. They always playing quarterback in the back. We do the front line work. You understand? But our people's political immaturity is so low that we judge everybody by the same standard. You can't judge a billionaire by a thousandaire standard.
Dr. Umar, you know, Charlamagne got to go, so we appreciate you for
But
joining
no,
us.
more people need to read Spook Who Sat by the Door. The Spook Who Sat by the
Spook
Door.
Who Sat by the
Watch
Door.
the movie if you don't like reading.
They definitely.
Then you might understand these brothers a little bit better.
I agree with that.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us,
Not a
brother.
problem.
Anything else we need to know, brother? And we can't make it. It can't be so long in between visits, man.
We can't be so long in between. But one more point, if I can. Brother Kanye asked the question, was slavery a choice? Very disrespectful question when you know what we've been through in these streets. He must never heard of Nat Turner and what he did, paying the ultimate sacrifice. He never heard of Denmark Vesey and what he did. He never heard of Gabriel Prosser and what he did. He must have never heard of the Stono Rebellion. He must have never heard when Queen Mother Harriet said slavery was the closest thing next to hell. He must have never heard of all those black women who suffocated and drowned their babies on purpose so they would never have to live as slaves. He must have never heard of Igbo Landing when a group of enslaved Africans got off the boat in Georgia. Guess what they did? And there's a marker down there with the chain still on their body. They turned around and walked back into the water, every last one of them, and gave their life rather than live as slaves. See, the problem is we have too many politically uneducated celebrities speaking for the community. And the problem, Envy and Charlamagne, is the fact that we no longer have a black middle-class bourgeoisie. The gatekeepers are gone. Sharpton's gone, Jesse's gone, Congressional Black Caucus no longer holds the sway, Urban League, NAACP no longer holds the sway. So guess what the white power structure going to do now? They're going to start using black celebrities to represent the opinion of black folks, and I'm very concerned about that because the average rapper is politically uneducated. The average celebrity, actor, entertainer, they are politically uneducated. And even the ones who are politically educated may not have the courage to speak truth to power. So my question to Kanye is, you don't have the right to ask that question when you didn't even marry a black woman. You don't have a right to ask that question dyeing your hair blonde. You don't have a right to ask that question wearing white Jesus pieces around your neck. You don't have a right to ask that question when you're in the White House hugging Donald Trump, telling that man you love him. What do you love so much about the orange man? What has he done to make you love him? So we have to hold our entertainers accountable because they're running around making a mockery out of the rest of us. But I would say to everyone, support the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. God willing, we hope to be operational, if not by this summer, definitely by next. Go to drumarjohnson.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Dr. Umar Johnson. And we're going to change the course of history with this school.
Talk black to me, Dr. Umar, as Vicky Dillard says.
Right.
You know, it's going to be funny. I love when Dr. Umar leaves and I get to look at the reactions to social media. Because he be having people so up in the
That's
arms.
because most people are not used to a black male with a traditional European education. I have my doctorate, my master's, all of that. Speaking truth to power the way that I do. Normally when you get to my level of education, you become a coon or a Negro. And what's the difference between a coon and a Negro, Envy? The Negro is innocent in his ignorance. The Negro think Jesus is white. The Negro think white people are smarter. It's not his fault. He's been miseducated, Charlemagne. But the coon is dangerous. The coon knows Jesus wasn't white. The coon knows white people are not superior to blacks, but they will act like they are because they're going to get something for doing so. The coon consciously sells out his people. The Negro does it out of ignorance. I can work with a Negro. Never trust the coon.
One last point, I want him to clear this up.
Sure.
Atlanta Black Star reported that there was a time that your credentials were under investigation.
Okay, let's talk about that.
What's your response to that? They said you didn't have the proper license to be a psychologist and you could lose your credentials in Pennsylvania.
Okay, I don't hold a psychology license because I never pursued it.
Okay.
Psychology, like any other discipline, once you do your pre-doc intern and you do your dissertation, you get your doctorate, which is what I have. If you want to get licensed, you have to go to work for an additional year, 1,750 hours in Pennsylvania. You're basically working under a licensed psychologist, and then you take your exam and you get your license. I never took the exam. I never did the postdoc hours. Why not? Because I'm a certified school psychologist. That's where I made my name. That's where most of my work was done. So I made a decision after I got my doctorate that it's really not necessary to pursue my license because my school psychologist certification is what gives me the legal prerogative to go into schools and evaluate children. But the reason they questioned my credential in the first place is, once again, how could he dare talk like that if he really had that paperwork? And the irony of me not having the credentials is you can call the university and find out if I graduated from there. They will tell you that. So it's nothing mysterious about this. It's not a secret society. You contact the university and find out. But after being a certified school psychologist for 20 years now, with the thousands of kids that I've saved, there's no black man in America separate from an institution who has saved more black boys from the psychoacademic Holocaust, from prison, from miseducation, from psychiatric medication, from special education, from juvenile detention. You can't name one who's done more to save our children than I have. I've educated a whole generation of black parents on how to fight the system. And speaking of that, I'm going to become the president. There's a strong chance I'm going to become the president of the New York City chapter of our organization, the National Independent Black Parent Association, where we're going to train parents and organize them on how to bring change in the schools in 7 main areas: Envy, special ed, school discipline, school finance, school policy, parent advocacy, homeschooling, and social support. We need that because we don't have enough Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy schools right now. So we got to educate the parents where they are. And if there's anyone watching this who want to host a training in their state, because 2020, I'm going to every state in America, y'all. And I'm going to train the black parents who want to be trained on the art of how to deal with the schools. What is autism? What is a learning disability? What is an evaluation? What is an IEP? And what states can you exempt your child from vaccinations in order to attend public and charter school? What's the difference between public school, charter school, independent school, parochial school? How to write a letter when you disagree with the school? What to do when the teacher tell you got to put your child on drugs? We're going to educate every parent who wants to be educated in these 50 states this year. So if you're interested, go to drumarjohnson.com, get in contact with me. But the Black Parent Revolution begins now.
Okay, final question, I promise.
Sure.
Do you like the conversations that we're having that are elevating?
I got to give y'all a lot of credit. Y'all changed the game on that. Because before the Breakfast Club start bringing in conscious personalities, Honorable Minister Farrakhan, rest in peace, Dick Gregory, mentor of mine. Before y'all did that, most of the popular and hip-hop and grassroots music, sports, and entertainment-oriented shows, they didn't touch us. They didn't touch us. But once y'all did that, they said, whoa, them boys getting as much views as everybody else. Look at that Dr. Umar. Damn. So then they started hitting us. So y'all have made it comfortable and popular for entertainment radio to now have conversations with politics. And that was strong. I'll give y'all kudos for that.
Well, what about mental health?
Mental health. I wanted to say this to you because I know you're pushing the mental health, which is good. We have mental health issues in the black community. But Charlemagne, you got to be careful for a couple reasons. Number one, for black people, mental health is all about medicine. They don't give a damn about us.
Yeah, they want to just put us on medication.
They want to push Ritalin, Adderall, Concerta, Cyclert, Risperdal, Depakote, Prozac, Paxil. So when you say mental health for black folks, Envy, you have to make sure you're talking about traditional talk therapy.
That's right.
Don't let them push them pills. Remember now, it was the psychologists who came up with the philosophical and theoretical rationale for segregation. A lot of people don't know this. Who was Adolf Hitler's propaganda minister? A psychologist by the name of Joseph Goebbels. Go to South Africa. Who engineered the apartheid regime? A white psychologist. Come to America. Who engineered and justified separate but equal and black inferiority and white superiority? It was psychologists. Henry H. Goddard at the top of that list and others. So the reason black people don't search out mental health, Charlemagne, ain't because we don't want it. But we recognize that the mental health establishment played a significant role in the destabilization of the black community. Did you know that up until 1965, 38 states didn't let black people have kids or get married if your IQ score was beneath a certain number? You see, and not only that, even if you come to me for therapy, Envy, if you tell me something that is potentially incriminating, by law, I have to break the therapist-client privilege and tell on you. So a lot of black mothers who need therapy ain't going, Charlemagne. You know why? Because if I tell them what happened to my child, it's hurting me. I need to talk. But if I tell them, they can take my children.
We scared to talk to white folks. That's why we need black therapists.
That's why we need black therapists. And we need the black psychologists to get back into therapy because a lot of black psychologists are not doing therapy. You know what they're doing? Testing and assessment. You know why? There's more money
in the medication,
in testing and assessment in medicine than it is in the talk therapy. So that's something that we have to do.
All right.
Dr. Umar Johnson.
Black Power.
Appreciate you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
There we have it right there. Dr. Umar, man, I tell you. Licking the nail on the head. You understand? It is what it is. So, blessings to everyone, and teach and learn. Hope everybody doing fine. Yes. Hey, these people not playing, you know. You know, when I can look to see how much persons view the show. Normally, when I do 2-hour show, it will show that, you know, thousands of people watch it. Can you believe that it is showing that it's only 200 and somebody? Facebook. You're not playing at all. You're not playing. So, but it's a Facebook. They keep records, man. Anything you say, them record it. So because I talk about boosting teach and learn videos, you know, they're cutting down for me to boots. Well, okay. Let's see. You understand? These people going hard with them evenness, man. But guess what, no? We're gonna continue doing what we're doing, you know, because it's 2 hour time. Alright, bro. Blessing. See if it. Blessing. See if you can wrap it up in about 10 minutes, cause I have to go. Blessings.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he make the nail on the head.
Yes.
And like I always say to you, it's about psychology. And if you know psychology, then you can get out of a person, you can program a person to do what you want them to do, or you want them. Because they understand how the human work. That me always I try to get to you. It's like the music program. You can get whatever music you want out of it. You set it on 130 Hz, 120, whatever. You know what sound gonna give out this vibration, what gonna give out that. So they know. So that's why he say when you have two type of people. The Negro who doesn't know because he's acting in his ignorance. You know? But the coon, he knows, but he'll sell out. He know what he's doing. Yes. And when him say them give you the medicine, like what I do, I explain, I take you through. So you gotta change your thinking. It's the way you think. So when you realize, so exactly what I've been telling you, that's what is saying right there.
Yeah. Yeah, just
you
like
don't need the medication.
exactly, just like the perfect example I use with the campaign in Jamaica right now. If they all about the coronavirus and right in the midst of it, there's campaign and a bag of people going. What you think is gonna happen next?
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
They know what
Then you're
they're
gonna
doing.
hear that how much 1,000 person have corona and you're gonna get vaccine, but people not thinking at all. People just not thinking, you know.
So when you talk
Called
about
psychology.
we as black people, we need to get back ourselves in psychology and do that work. That's what I'm always saying. We gotta get in. You gotta get the wasp out of the way the bee is supposed to be. So when him say that's how we used to put it. They are the wasp, we are the bee. We can't have them working, doing it for us. We gotta get in our position so we can be able to fix our people. There's no other way. So he's correct on he have the nail and the head. He have the nail and the head. It's the same page. We are on the same page. You know, so people like him, they lock him down. They'll try to lock him down. You know? Like him speaking about Marcus Garvey. Yeah? So he understand and know. Like, we waking up the people them that we are waking up, somebody have them asleep. So when we wake them up, the person that have them asleep, what do you think they're going to do to you?
Exactly.
And that's what they did to Marcus Garvey. So now in this time, we have to see that where Marcus Garvey went wrong and correct that. So when him speak, I see what him saying totally on the same page. That's what I say. It's not a lot of people see it like us, DJ Grace. It's not a lot of people. So when you bring these things to the forefront, I'm telling you, man, God is working. God is working. This program is God bless. You know? Because people need to hear these things and understand so the thing can spread. If one people hear this, one person, you can tell somebody else and tell them, you know, so yeah man, you're doing a great work, DJ Grace. I tell you man, this teach and learn program, yeah. I tell you man, this information is big. You will break it down. The way how you break it down. So yeah man, it's been a great day. I've been listening all day.
Right,
Because
blessings.
it's just beautiful, man. It's just, I couldn't be doing nothing else, you know? So, yeah,
Blessings.
man, blessing.
Yeah, and
blessing
thanks
to all the
for
listeners.
and thanks for calling in as well, yeah? Have a great day.
Yeah, man, every time.
Alright, see you
Every
later.
time.
Bye-bye.
Blessings.
Okay, yes, as you said, this man break it down very nicely. Yes, hoping that, you know, persons hear these things and, you know, look into themselves and try to make a change as well. So bless up. Okay, Jones say, teach and learn today, DJ Grace, teach and learn, remember those days when touched by a wrong hand and keep silence, and how to educate how to educate the youth in public school part way, open the eyes to all who need to have eyes and open education talk. Interesting. Blessing. Hold on a minute. I'm getting a call. Hi, good afternoon. Are you calling to talk on Teach and Learn?
Yes, this is
Oh, all right. Hold on a minute. Let me get you on speaker. Okay. Go ahead. You're live. Hello? Yes, you're live there.
Yes, hi. I just messaged the Facebook group.
Okay, yes.
Okay, can you hear me well?
Yes, I'm hearing you well.
Okay, very good. I'm actually I'm from Louisiana, and we have the highest amount of federal corruption arrests in the United States. We also have the largest amount of people that are incarcerated by law, that are incarcerated in prison. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. But I've come up with a list of laws and police reforms that we could do if we could all. I've been trying to talk to state legislators and representatives or whatever. I'm actually from the hood. You know, I've always been from the hood, and that's just how it is. You know, grew up poor or whatever. That's how I was like 21. But I tried talking to the legislators and Congress people that I can get a hold of, you know, on social media about these different laws that we need to have passed. And I'm going to read that out to you in 1 second as soon as I can find the list. Are you still there?
Oh, you're gonna read a list.
Okay, yes. This is the laws, and if you can't try to record this so that you can have this, you know, or you can record the video or something like that. Okay, we need better laws. Police departments, courts, jails, hospitals, and child protection agencies all need to have complaints available to the public online. Okay. We need 100% body cameras for all law enforcement, because what's happening in my city is they got half of the cops, half of the police officers have body cameras, and what they'll do is they'll switch it. You know, they'll switch up and they'll say, oh, but this guy had a body camera, and they do that so that citizens can't have legal recourse when they get beat. I've been beat before by law enforcement. I got complex post-traumatic stress disorder. They messed me up so bad. But I've seen what goes on and stuff to, you know, my fellow citizens. It's really, really horrible in Louisiana. But they need body cameras 100% of the way. Also, drug steroid testing for police officers needs to be done by an outside independent party, third party, with results that are publicly posted online. Citizens need the human right of recording personal court proceedings. Because I know this because I've seen a judge kidnap my own son with a false document, a false falsified restraining order, and you know, and it was fake. You know, everything on it was falsified, and they get to do that because they have reporters that type up the stuff in court, so they get to, you know, charge you. If you want to get the minutes for court and get, you know, the proceedings of what happened, they develop a narrative that suits them. Takes 3 days to develop it, and you have to pay like $300. So that doesn't work. So they kidnapped my kid, and I know that we need the citizens get the right to record court proceedings, because without that, we're, you know, like over there, we have false incarcerations. We have judges that falsify documents, and you know, there's people going to jail. It's horrible. They're farming the people here. That's what they do. Bring the medical system and the jail. Okay, and also we need let's see, media tutorials like I tried contacting my local news stations and radio stations and whatever about the police brutality, torture at the hospital, patients. I've literally been shackled down while watching, not just being abused at times, but watching a guy torture an elderly woman. That's former police officer. That's a former police officer for the city. That's what happened. So I tried going. So I tried, I couldn't take it anymore. So I tried going to local news outlets. They don't respond by any emails. They don't do anything if you call them on phones. I've been documenting the communications for a very long time. I got emails. I got recorded phone calls. I've got associated Instagram, Twitter, Facebook messages. They ignore all human suffering. They ignore all human outcry. And like their message boxes, they don't even check. And we have a law enforcement agency. We have civil officers that are in a lot of trouble right now for beating citizens and whatever. But we also have the Sheriff's Association, the 911 operators, or the Sheriff's Department. They hang up on you whenever you report police brutality. Okay, Crime Stoppers or the Sheriff's Department. They hang up on you and they block you online if you try to get help. Any kind of outcry concern of police brutality, that's what happens. Whenever we have Child Protection Agency and children that come forward and they need help because Child Protection Agency sent them to pedophiles or serial abusers to wait. So trying to get help from them, they ignore you, they block you online and everything. But talking to the sheriff, communications between like me and the sheriff about these victims, about the children who have been molested, they don't respond to anything. Like Crime Stop just doesn't respond to anything. It's all really horrible on how they're doing people. And also in my city, there's been a journalist that did investigate the voting process. Said that the voting statistics, like the regularity of voting, the voting machines, were actually banned in other states, and that they're banned in other states because they're exploiting them. We've had the same sheriff for like 30 years, and I don't know as far as that goes, but it's completely corrupt. And I think that these laws that the media controllers, that if they get caught falsifying stories, just to incite racial division and stuff, class division between Americans or citizens of whatever country, they need to be held responsible, legally responsible for spreading disinformation. They do need to be held responsible. Those are the laws and reforms that I've come up with that would really help to stop the mass incarceration of citizens. And I try to tell everybody I can, in other states, because what's happening here will happen to others if they allow it. With the censorship of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, public outcry, even Google reviews, like it's censored. I have videos, and I'm going to teach my channel. I have videos that show you how Google reviews are hidden when every second with other accounts that they talk about police brutality. It's really messed up, Anyways, that's all I had to say, and I'll be back to listening to y'all.
Thank you so much for your information. It means a lot. Thank you for calling in. Wow. Thank you so much. All right?
Were you able to record that, ma'am?
When you're live, I'm still live, so we hear. But I will talk to you after still. Right? I will talk to you.
I hope you can record it. This is our phone number, and that's my account name, Jackie Michaels III, and I'd be glad to send you some more information on it.
All right, bless you. Right, I will talk. All right, I will talk to you later as well. All right, so you take care now. Be blessed. Thank you.
You too, man. Thank you.
All right, bye. Wow. Tell you, you got to have strong faith, man. When you, oh boy. The race is not for the swift, but who can endure it in this time? Wow, it's very serious, but hold on, don't give up. You understand? Don't give up at all. Once there's life, there's hope, you know. Put your trust in the Most High and just do good, you know. Choose to walk the right road. Choose good over bad at all times. That's whatever you're doing, just remember the Most High, yeah? And don't forget, how do you know the Most High? By knowing yourself. Alright? Remember, there's a saying, say anything you do me, you do yourself. So, if you hurt me, you hurt yourself, you hurt the Most High. You know, someone sent me a photo this morning, and a little clip was about 18 seconds, you know. And I saw a female on the ground, and they cuffed her hand from behind, not with cuffs, but with like a string type of thing. And she was on the ground, and I thought, you know, they was just beating her with a stick or something, you know, and I was just looking and say, okay, I was wondering, why the two guys beating her? Oh, little did you know, it wasn't really a stick in his hand, it was a machete. And she was probably trying to ring her head up and kicking because she know that they was gonna kill her. And boy, then chopped the woman head off. I was like, oh my gosh, what could a woman do so bad? This two man take the head off the woman's body. What could she have done so bad? A woman. A woman is what carry in the world. What can a woman do so bad to deserve to lose their life in that manner? I'm like, wow, where is the love? Where is the compassion? Where is the forgiveness? Huh? There's a saying say, the heart of man are desperate wicked, so you know we shouldn't be surprised of anything. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I will just continue to do my good and continue to do travel on the road that the Most High have me traveling. Yeah, sometimes I ask, why me? Sometimes I ask some Christian, but you know the Most High know what he's doing. So I'm just chudding along, people. I'm just chudding along, you know. I'm just chudding along. So blessings to Tracy, Joe, and to Jason. Alright. Blessing to Shorty Slick, Bebot, Nadine, Yuna. Alright. Miss McDonald. See you later, and everybody else that is online. Alright, and you hear what you talk about the social media as well. Yes, man. Yes, it is what it is. So that's why I won't share this show on my DJ page and my Talkoff page, because you know how hard I work in 1 year to build them fans on the DJ Grace page, and they're messing up things wicked. So I'm trying to build this page. Even though they see me boosting the page, you know, because I don't buy views. I don't know how to buy views. But, you know, boosting a page is like running an ad. Like, after the show is finished, you boost the page, and then you tell them which country you want the show to be in, and you select the country, and it runs as like an ad. You understand? So I've been doing that for the past 2 weeks, and yet still, they're still cutting my views and messing about. So, you want to take my money like that? No, man. You're wasting my time. Come on, Facebook. That's not good at all. That's not good. So, you know, I've been boosting the page, but I probably have to boost this one because some serious thing talk here today, and it only show me that it reached 200 person, but I know they're the one that doing it because this don't reach 200 people. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I tell you. Oh, just too good. They did it to Christ. Now am I share? Okay, enough blessings. So if you wanna contribute to this show, to this program, you know, I do Cash App, I do PayPal. It's for a good cause, boost them page and all them things. Yes, so you know, just when they kick you off, just keep coming back. It's a bit frustrating for me as well, but as I said, I'm not gonna give up. Because I'm never a person who gives up at all. I'm a fighter. So we have to make it work. Alright? So, let me love you and leave you because I got to go. So, see you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Walk good and be careful. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Alright? And stay away from stuff that is not good at all. Stay away. Don't get caught up in them. What the thing that the man used in the live a while ago. Don't get caught up in them systematic business. And them people in Jamaica running up and down, carry on like them not no sense. You understand? Don't know say yo, this is all a trap. You're gonna hear that how much 1,000 people have corona, you need to get vaccine. People not thinking. Everybody just caught up in this thing. You know, somebody invite me to a party sometime next week. I'm like, no, I'm not interested to go to no party. Why would I take myself and go to a party when you hear that if you are fine in any surrounded with 30 persons or more, you're going to be paying £10,000 fine or whatever? Come on, you hear these things, just you keep away. But they know that people is going to be falling in the trap anyways, because what? We can't contain ourselves, so we're going to fall in the trap same way. Not me though, I'm staying far. You get what I'm saying? Yes. See you later. Be blessed. Alright? Listen. Take care of yourselves. Nada. Pick up. Nada. Alright? Bye-bye. And thanks, Nadine. Big up you now. Alright?